Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Cult Movie Tuesday right here on Night Owl Video. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to everybody who subscribed recently. Today we are talking about this film. This is called Jodorowsky's Dune. This is a documentary from 2013 directed by a person named Frank Pavich. Now, Frank Pavich has only done, according to Wikipedia, 3 films. One of them I'm curious about, though. I think it was from 1999. It's called NYHC, which is a documentary about the New York hardcore scene. I had not heard about that film before. I just saw it when I was doing the research for this, and so I was kind of curious just if that was good or not, because I do like music documentaries, especially ones about punk and metal and stuff like that. So was kind of curious about that one, but this one was his last one, and this is actually 10 years old now, believe it or not. This film stars a lot of different people, but most notably probably the artist H.R. Giger, who designed the alien in the film Alien and its subsequent sequels. I think he also designed the creature in Species, if I'm not mistaken. But Giger's done lots of loved and easily recognizable pieces of artwork. He also did the penis inlay poster for the Dead Kennedys album. He did his album artwork has been featured on album covers such as Celtic Frost as well as Danzig. So yeah, he's a pretty recognizable artist. Nicholas Winding Refn also makes an appearance in this film, the director of the cult classic Drive, starring Ryan Gosling. So these documentary reviews are always kind of tricky to do because there's usually not a lot of stuff to talk about with them. The synopsis for this film is filmmaker Alejandro Jodorowsky discusses how he would have adapted Frank Herbert's classic sci-fi novel Dune for the big screen. And this was back in the 70s that he was going to do this. So this documentary is exploring an unmade film, an adaptation of the book Dune, which would have been directed and created by Jodorowsky, but that unfortunately never came to be. Along with French producer Michael Seydoux, Jodorowsky proceeded to approach Virgin Records with prog rock groups Tangerine Dream, Gong, and Mike Oldfield to do the soundtrack for this proposed adaptation of Dune, before settling on Pink Floyd and Magma for some of the music. Artists H.R. Giger, Chris Voss, and Jean Giraud were set for set and character design. Dan O'Bannon, of course, well known for the Alien film, for special effects, and Salvador Dali, Orson Welles, Gloria Swanson, David Carradine, and Mick Jagger, and Udo Kier, and Amanda Lear, and others for the cast. When I finished watching this documentary when it came out, and I was thinking, oh my God, could you imagine if this film had gotten made? What a crazy thing this would have been. I remember posting on Facebook back in 2013 or 2014 and just saying like, oh my God, if only this had have taken flight, it would have been like unbelievable to me anyway. Frank Herbert traveled to Europe in 1976 to find that $2 million of the $9.5 million budget had already been spent in pre-production, and that Jodorowsky's script would result in a 14-hour film. Herbert later recalled, quote, "It was the size of a phone book," unquote. So, after 2.5 years in development, the project ultimately stalled for financial reasons, since $5 million was still missing to round off the $15 million total budget. After the film rights lapsed in 1982, they were purchased by Italian producer Dino De Laurentiis, who eventually released the 1984 film adaptation of Dune, directed by, of course, David Lynch. And that's a whole other thing. French artist Jean Mobius Giraud worked with Jodorowsky to create a storyboard composed of 3,000 drawings that depicted the entire film. Salvador Dali, who was a total rascal, was set to play the Emperor and claimed he wanted to be the highest paid actor in Hollywood history. He asked for $100,000 per hour to act in the movie. Jodorowsky surprisingly accepted the deal, but then reduced the Emperor's scenes so that Dali would be needed for no more than 1 hour, with the rest of the lines spoken by a robotic look-alike. Salvador Dali accepted on condition that the plastic look-alike was donated to his museum and that his throne was to be a toilet made up of 2 intersected dolphins. Allegedly. And knowing Salvador Dali and what little I know about him, that does not surprise me in the least. Jodorowsky's refusal to compromise on Dune's running time was one main reason the film did not get made. Hollywood did not want the film's length to exceed 2 hours. Jodorowsky, on the other hand, felt that 10 to 14 hours would be more appropriate for his adaptation. The documentary concludes that Jodorowsky's efforts did not go to waste and that he and Giraud recycled much of their concepts for the Incal, a series of graphic novels that began publishing in 1980. The critical response to this documentary was great. It currently holds a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. This movie made many critics' best of list in 2013 as one of the best films of the year. I would say this is a pretty well-liked documentary. It says, the greatest science fiction movie never made, Jodorowsky's Dune. So yeah, this one, after I saw this, I was all at once amazed and it's just so excited. And then on the other hand, I was so sad that this never came to fruition, because I think in my mind, I mean, you've got Salvador Dali. I forgot all the other people in it. Orson Welles, Gloria Swanson, David Carradine, Mick Jagger, Udo Kier, music by Pink Floyd and Magma, directed by Jodorowsky, who was a surrealist master. This thing would have been just crazy. Yeah, it's just crazy. Now, I just recently picked this up, and I was pretty excited to find this in the thrift store. However, when I got home, rarely do I make this mistake, but when I got home, I realized that the Blu-ray is actually missing. It's just the DVD. So, for $3.99, I guess. I've never seen this out when I was out and about thrifting, so I was a little disappointed the Blu-ray wasn't in here, but I still have a copy of the movie to watch. So, and revisiting this again, it was like, I have the same feelings that I had when I first watched it, which was just kind of like immense excitement and disappointment. But yeah, this was really cool. It also has Gary Kurtz is in here, producer of Star Wars, and like the interviews with Jodorowsky itself were really nice, really intimate, really sweet to hear him talk about his. And you could almost tell that he was still like very, very passionate about this, even though clearly it's never going to get made. But he still felt like, you could tell in the interviews that he was still like lamenting this lost gem that probably could have been. But yeah, this movie is rated PG in Canada. I can't read the print; it's too tiny. But this movie is, although it's rated G in Quebec, apparently. This is a Region A DVD, a Region 1, I guess. Trying to see what the runtime is, 90 minutes. It includes deleted scenes as special features. There's the back if you want to see. There's some pictures of different folks on the back. Some artwork there. You can see Giger's design, some of his drawings for it. I don't know if this cover is probably a Mobius one, this craft on the front. But yeah, I just, man. This was, at Cannes in 2013, the Toronto Film Festival, the AFI Festival. Yeah, again, a little disappointed that the Blu-ray was missing, but I can still watch the DVD. So, yeah, I can't really say much else about this. I thought it was a very good. Documentary. It's again, I don't know. It's like really cool to watch and really exciting, and I loved hearing Jodorowsky's thoughts on what this could have been, but at the same time, just so sad it never got made, because I think this would have been like up there with the all-time cult classics. But at a 14-hour runtime, I guess Hollywood just wasn't quite prepared for what could have been. That's my thoughts on this film. Did you see this film? Did you like this film? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. You can currently rent this on Apple TV as well as the Cineplex app. And probably if I find this down the road with the DVD inside or it's sealed, I'll probably upgrade. But for now, I'm just happy to have it in my collection. And it's not one I see around ever, so I'm just happy to have it in the collection. But let me know your thoughts on the film in the comments below. Consider giving me the thumbs up if you like this review. Maybe some of you didn't. Maybe some of you missed this first time around. I would highly recommend checking this out if you like documentaries, if you like this 70s art stuff, H.R. Giger. And I'm a huge Giger fan, so it was cool to hear about all that stuff. Yeah, just really incredible. So sad that it didn't happen. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this film in the comments below. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Follow me over on Instagram at Night Owl Video. Like I said, I always struggle a bit with these documentaries because it's like how to really unpack a documentary. But I've seen some like the Velvet Underground documentary from a couple years ago. I thought was not very good. The content was cool, but it wasn't very well made, in my opinion. So, some documentaries are great and some documentaries are not so great. I always return to the Cropsey documentary from 2010, I think it was, or around that time. To me, I've watched the Cropsey documentary like, I don't know how many times I've watched that. And that's not that old of a movie, but I thought it was so well done. And just a really great atmosphere. This one, again, I would highly recommend if you like art documentaries, film history, H.R. Giger, Jodorowsky stuff. It's a really cool documentary. Highly recommend. But that's it from me for today. So let me know your thoughts on this film. And until next time, I will see you at the thrift store or at the video store or just out and about somewhere. Or maybe I'll see you at the Cannes Film Festival, telling everybody that the time traveling back to the Cannes Film Festival and saying, let him make this movie. Dang it. That's all I got. So until next time, take good care of yourselves and your friends and family, because it is a strange world out there and some people are very mean. So take good care of yourselves and your loved ones. And until next time, I will see you in the next video.